Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this session. In this session, we will look into the PHP. Okay, so we know that PHP is dynamically typed, similar to JavaScript. We don't have to specify the which data type it is. Automatically at the runtime, based on the what value you have assigned, it will interpret the data type. So how to declare a variable? We have to have a dollar symbol. In case of a JavaScript, we used to use a keyword var and then give variable name. In case of PHP, you have to say dollar sign and the variable name. So that itself is a variable declaration, and you can assign any kind of a value. You can assign it a integer or a string, and once you assign a integer, later you can assign a text. You can do all those things in case of a PHP. These are the different data types. Boolean, if you have a true false kind of a value, Boolean data type can be used. Integer, whole numbers, decimal numbers using float, and if you have a set of characters, text, string data type can be used. And we have one more object called as a array. It is a collection of data items, similar data items. So array itself is implemented as an object. Then we have object is another data type. So if you have the instances of the classes, that particular data type can be used. Constant, similar to other languages, constant values cannot be changed during the program. We can declare the constants. Once we have the value assigned to the constant, rest of the program, you cannot change the value that is stored in a constant. And how to define a constant? In case of a PHP, we use the define. So define, using define function, we create the constants. And one more thing you have to remember about the constant. In case of once you create the constant, we need not specify the dollar symbol. Whenever you are referencing that particular constant, you need not specify the dollar symbol. This is the example, and this is the beginning PHP tag, ending PHP tag, and we have created few constants here using a define function. Inside the define function, the first parameter is the name of the constant, and second parameter is the value that is assigned to the constant. For example, database underscore local is a constant that will be created having a value of localhost. And similar to other language, it is recommended to have the constants in a uppercase. So visually looking at them will we can easily identify those are constants. Similarly, database name, user, password are there. And once you define the constants, once you create the constants, you can directly use their name. So database local, database underscore local, we are creating some connection object and passing these constants as a parameter. So database underscore name. So all this will be replaced with the respective values that is stored inside them. Writing to the output. So if you want to output something to the browser, we can use the echo function. Means you want to output certain things to the browser so that it will be displayed on the browser. We can use the PHP echo function. So echo is used in two flavors. Already we have seen the echo in some of the examples. Echo, inside the parenthesis, you provide the string. Whatever the string is provided inside the parenthesis, that string will be given as an output to the browser. And this is the shortcut form. It is recommended to use this with a parenthesis so that you can use the functions consistently in your programming. Next, string concatenation. We can join two strings using a period symbol or the dot symbol. Dot symbol is used to concatenate two strings. For example, here on the browser, you want to output hello and this variable name. So we have created the variable called as username, $username, and you have stored the text word inside that username. And when you are doing the echo, you are saying hello, this is the first string. And in case of a PHP strings, either you can have double quotes or a single quotes. So here we have double quotes and dot. So it will join this text and it will evaluate this variable. This variable is evaluated to the text word. So hello world will be concatenated. So this is how it will output hello world. So of course there won't be space. So it is a hello without space. Word would be outputted to the browser. Then some of the examples of the string concatenation. We have created two variables: first name, last name, Pablo Picasso, and we can create the concatenation. So you can see here we are echoing. What we are echoing? This complete string, which is concatenated. First we have a HTML element emphasis em, that is concatenated with the first name, then that is concatenated with the space, then that is concatenated with the last name. This dollar variable, sorry, this first name and the last name variable will be replaced with these values, and that is concatenated with the closing em HTML element. So how it will show up on the how it will be outputted to the user is like this. Okay, em Pablo Picasso and closing em element. And this same thing can be done like this. We are see echo inside the two double quotes. I have this is em emphasis HTML element, beginning first name space last name and ending closing em element. So this is the one important thing you have to notice. Many languages, whenever you have anything inside the string, so you can see these two variables are inside these two double quotes, still these two values will be evaluated. So this will be evaluated as em, this is replaced with the value Pablo Picasso and closing em element. String can be used in two fashions. As I told you, either you can use it as a double quotes, two double quotes, and inside is whatever you have is treated as a string, or you can have two single quotes. You can see this is another example. We are echoing this image HTML element, and you can see outside this string is done with a single quote, and inside I have used the two double quotes. So image src is equal to this is again text, so that is used using a double quote. So we can use the combination of the double quotes as well as the single quotes. Here it is, suppose if you want to just use the double quotes, then you have to give the escape sequence. So here double quotes is used because src we give the text as a double quotes. Here it is used with the escape sequence. Escape sequence is like a backslash and this double quote. Now this double quote is treated as a escape sequence. Here also same. So output would be like image src is equal to inside two double quotes 23.jpg. That is the output that is given to the browser. These are the other escape sequences. Line feed, that is a new line. Horizontal tab, if you want to include backslash, then you will have two backslashes. Backslash dollar, if you want to include dollar sign. If you want to include the double quote inside the string, then you can have backslash and double quotes. These are some of the other examples which will evaluate to the same. It's a concatenation examples. So the simple thing is like you can use either two double quotes or two single quotes, or you can use the combination of the both. If you want to just use the two double quotes, then you have to use the escape sequences. So here it is a combination of single quote and double quote. This example, this and this. In this case we did not use any single quote, so that's why we are using the escape sequence. So you can see here a escape sequence. Wherever we require double quotes, we are using the backslash and double quotes. This is the example shown below, how that particular thing will be evaluated. Now there is another way to put the output onto the browser, that is a printf function. And this printf function is very similar to the one we used in the C programming. And there are other variation. S printf for printing the string. F printf is printing it into the particular file. And we can similar to printf of C programming, we can specify the type, format type. For example, here we have two variables: product is equal to box, weight is equal to 1.56789. Suppose if you want to output whatever the is in the printf statement as a parameter, the first parameter, that will be shown as the output on the browser. For example, here inside the two double quotes, I have the %s is %.2f pounds. So what will be displayed on this is this %s is similar to C programming. It is a placeholder, and this is a placeholder for a string. Okay, and dot dollar product, that variable is a box. So box will be replaced here. This is the second placeholder, which is of type float. So this is replaced with the second parameter, or the for the printf it is the third parameter, and that value of 1.56789, that is the value. But we have specified the precision. After the dot, how many decimal places you want to display, that precision you can specify here. Now it says after the dot I want to show only two digits, that is after the dot 1 and 2, and whenever we are rounding, so we'll take care of the rounding. So in case of this particular example, this would be 1.57. That is the output we are getting. The box is 1.57 pounds. The other specifiers, format specifiers, %b for binary, D for integer, F for float, O for octal numbers, X for hexadecimal numbers. And as we discussed, precision for the decimal numbers, whatever the precision you want to specify, after the dot you can specify that many digits, and accordingly the display will be shown. Next, program controls. Program controls, if else, all these controls are very similar to the any other language or the JavaScript which we already saw in previous sessions. It is very similar to that. One example is given here. If inside the parenthesis I will have the condition. If this condition is true, then I will have true block, and if it is not true, then we will have a alternate path. This is one path, true path, else is the false path. Else, if again we are checking the condition, and if it is true, then I will have a true block, else I will have the false block. So this is how we are going to write it in the PHP. These two sets of codes are exactly the same. You can see here I have the beginning of the PHP code and ending of the PHP code. If $user status is equal to logged in, then close of the parenthesis, this is the condition, opening of the true block. Then I close the PHP code. Then I have the regular HTML code. So here I have two anchor for showing account and logout. On the screen, on the browser, you will see account and logout, two words side by side with the hyperlink. That hyperlink will, if you click on the account, it will call the account.php, and if you call logout, then it will call the logout.php. If this logged in status is true, means clicking on the account information will be shown, something like that. Then again else condition, this is the HTML, then this is the PHP code. Dollar again starting PHP tag and ending PHP tag, and this is the closing bracket of the true block, else the opening bracket of the false block. After this is the end of the PHP code. Again I have HTML code here. Two links are there, one for login and one for register. If user is not logged in, then there are two options: either he can log in, or if he is not registered user, then he can register. Then after that, again I have a PHP code, beginning PHP tag and closing tag, and this is the closing block of the false block. Now if you see this code, it is like a very complicated, and too many times we are opening the PHP and closing the PHP. So this will become this piece of code, it is very easy to understand, but if you are working on a huge project, so then it will become very complicated. The second option that is given is a better option. The only difference between this and this is, here we have, it is a completely PHP code, and instead of having the HTML code, what we are using is a echo. So inside echo, we are passing the parameter. That parameter is nothing but that HTML element. Rest of the thing is same. So this is the beginning of the PHP tag, closing PHP tag. If user status is logged in, then echo. So echo inside the string. Okay, this is the single quotes. What I have is exactly the same as the HTML code. So this will be outputted to the browser, these two links. And if this condition is false, then it will echo these two. Switch, similar to other languages, whatever the value it gets, okay, switch, whatever the value it will get, it will try to match with the different cases, and wherever it matches, that particular piece of code will get executed. For example, we have switch $art type. So this is a variable, it is having some kind of a value. If that value is pt, okay, if it matches here, then this code will get executed. Dollar output is equal to painting and break. In case of a switch, we know, right, every case, at the end of the case, we will have a break, so that it will come out of the switch statement. If you don't have the break, then just the execution will follow until it find a break, or until the end of the statement. Similarly, if R type is SE, SC, then output is culture, then break. And if value doesn't match with any of the case, then it will go to the default. These are the statement which is used for the looping, that is while loop and the do while loop. While loop, the functioning is exactly same, so same understanding, conceptually no difference at all, and syntax is also, it matches with what we have done in C programming. We have declared a variable $count is equal to 0, while it will check for the condition. If condition is true, the body of the loop while will be executed, otherwise it will exit from the, it will end that loop, and it will come to the, it will execute the next statement after the while. This condition is true, it will come here again, again it will print it, okay, and it will continue. So what will be displayed on the browser? So what is outputted to the browser is 0 to 9 values. And do while exactly the same. While the difference between while and do is, do will make sure that at least the body gets executed at least once. So the body gets executed first, and then it will check the condition. So here it will count is 0, it will echo 0 value, then increment, then it will check the condition. And one more thing you have to notice is, in case of a do while, we have semicolon after this while and the condition. So in case of a while, we do not use in semicolon for the anywhere. Okay, we only use for the statements which are inside the body of the while. But in case of a do while, apart from having the semicolon as the ending character for all the statements inside the body of the do statement, we will also have a semicolon at the end. For same as other languages, for will have inside the bracket, we have the initialization part. So this first part where we do the initialization, the $count is set as 0, and the second part is, it will check the condition. So this is the condition, and if this condition is true, then it will execute the body of the for loop. And after completing the body of the for loop, it will increment whatever the action you provide here, increment or decrement, that will be done. After that, it will check the condition again. If this condition is true, it will execute the body of the for loop, and it will continue in that fashion until this condition is false. In this case also, in this example also, what the echo will do is it will output it to the browser. It will output 0 to 9 values to the browser. So there are certain alternate syntax for the some of the control structures. PHP has an alternative syntax for most of its control structure. In this alternate syntax, the colon replaces the opening curly bracket. So here some of the controls we are using, we have alternate structure. Instead of a opening curly brace, we have a colon. So you can see here in this particular code, we have if and then condition inside the parenthesis. Instead of having a open curly brace, we have just a colon. And the closing brace will get replaced with one of this, while the closing brace is replaced with end if semicolon, and while. This is for the if statement, this is for the while statement, and for semicolon, and for each semicolon, and switch semicolon. So this is the alternate way you can use. Either you can use this style, or you can use the this style where you have open curly braces and the closing curly braces. Whichever is easy for you, that you can use that style. Okay. Include files. One advantage with the PHP is like you can just include a PHP file, so that you can make your code very modular in the sense, you can, according to the functionality, you can divide the code into multiple files, so that maintenance and understanding of that code will become very easy. So whenever you include the file, what it will do is, wherever there is a include, just it will insert all the content of the PHP. So that is how it is very easy. Instead of having all the code inside the opening tag and the closing PHP tag, and remember, opening PHP tag and the closing PHP tag is similar to the main function, right? Most of the program, they have a main function. Whenever you execute, it will start the execution from the main function, right? You don't want to write everything in the main function. You want to have all the code written into different functions or the different modules, and you want to call those functions or the modules. That is the modular structure. Similar to that, you don't want to have all the code between the opening PHP tag and the closing PHP tag. Instead of having it as a one big huge file, you can divide it according to the functionality, create multiple PHP files, and wherever it is required, just include those files, so that that code will be inserted into wherever you are including that, and that functionality will be available. PHP does have one important facility that is generally unlike other non-web programming languages, namely the ability to include or insert contents from one file into another file. So you can see here example. We have a here one file, a database file is there, and inside the database file, we have database helper, and all those things are there. Another program we have is a footer. Okay, footer .inc.php, all extension is like PHP. So just to have a indication, these are used for including into PHP. They have used the .inc. This is not required. If you have the extension of .php, that is sufficient. And no matter what, everywhere we need to have the database connections and database objects. Okay, so on every page you want to show the footer is on every page. So that's why they have the database related code into a separate PHP file, and a footer related code into another PHP file, and we are including these pages in different. So index page, maybe the home page, index.php, and product.php, which is displaying the product. We can include these two files in these PHP files. Then about .php files where it is included. So footer, you can see the footer is a div. It is showing a link: home, products, about us, contact us, side by side. So hash, as you remember, if you click on the hash, it will take you to the top of the page. Suppose if you want to have the actual code, then you will point it to the index page. Products will point it to the product. So you can, from the footer, you can directly navigate into respective page. PHP provides 4 different statements for including files, which is shown as below, and whichever you want to use, you can use. Include, inside the two double quotes, pair of double quotes, you specify which file you want to include, some file.php followed by semicolon. Include under once, again name of the PHP to be included. Then require some file.php, then you can have this require underscore once, and you specify the PHP file. Include files are equivalent of copying and pasting. So include is as good as the piece of the code which you are including. It will get copied into the main PHP. You can think as if whatever code is in the included file, that is pasted inside the including file. Variables defined within the include file will have a scope of the line on which the include occurs. So this is the scope. Variables defined within the include file, whatever is the variables that we are using in the include file, will have the scope of that particular line where we have included. Any variables available at that line in the calling file will be available within the called file. So that is the scope of that kind of a variable. If the include, excuse me, if the include occurs inside a function, then all of the code contained in the called file will behave as though it has been defined inside that function. So if we are including the file inside a function, then the scope of that function, then the scope of the called variables will be the scope of the function itself. We have functions. Now we know functions are very important if you want to create a modular applications. Functions are one key point which can be used to make the bigger projects in a modular structure. And why we use the functions is whatever the functions we want to have, which will have a unique task. It will do some kind of a unique task. If that unique task is repeatedly done in your project, then it will save a lot of code. Just you can have it as a separate function and call multiple times. Just with any language, writing code in the main function, that is which is PHP equivalent to coding in the markup between opening PHP tag and the closing PHP tag. So I told you this is like a main function. Okay. Having all the code is not a good habit. Writing all the code inside this is not a good habit. Instead, we can include the major functionality here and call the functions from this main. Function in PHP contains a small bit of code that accomplishes one thing. Okay, any one calculating the fat that is a one function. Then reversing a number, another function. So whatever the function you want, user defined function and built-in function. User defined functions are the one which are created by the programmer. Built-in function is the programs functions which are provided by the PHP environment. So how to create a function? You have to use a keyword called as function. And if you notice, there is no return type mentioned. Okay, there is no need to mention the return type, and also there is no need to return anything. You can just have a function not returning anything. So you will say function, a keyword, and then you will provide a name of the function, yeah, and inside the parenthesis, if there are any parameters to be specified, you will specify. Then this open curly brace will mark the beginning of the function body, and closing curly brace, inside those pair of curly braces you can include all the code. For example, this function get nice time, what it is doing is it is returning a date object with hour, minute and a second. So this particular function, if you say, this function is not returning anything. Okay, function output footer menu. Okay, we are outputting a footer menu. That is the function. It doesn't take any parameter. Opening curly brace, closing curly brace. Inside I have 4 echo. So basically this will be it will output it to the browser. What we are outputting to the browser, div id footer. Then I have 2 links, right? In fact 4 links, anchor links. This is for home, products, href and contact us, and then closing div. Now that you have defined a function, you are able to use it whenever you want to. The call a function, you must use its name with the brackets. Okay, so this is how you are going to call, which is same like any other language. For example, dollar output, this is the variable get nice time. So it is going to call this function get nice time. What it will get, it will get a date object in this format. So it will get a this that value is stored in the output variable, or you can directly call it from the echo. So echo get nice time, the date object is sent to the browser. It will be outputted to the browser. And this particular function you are calling, you are not assigning, because this function is not returning anything. Output footer menu, so it will display the 4 links, right? 4 links on the browser. Parameters are the mechanism by which the values are passed into the function. To define a function with parameter, you must decide how many parameters you want to pass and what order you want to pass, and each parameter must be having a proper name. This is the example with a one parameter, function get names and dollar show seconds. So this particular parameter is we are passing. Then inside the code, what we are checking is whether this show seconds is true. So this is a binary type which will get a true or false. If you send it with a true, it will show the hour, minute and second. If this condition is false, means seconds is false, means second is not required, then you will return date. So this is how you call. If you say if you say echo get nice time, and if you pass 1 is a condition is true, and it will return the hour, minute and second. If you call get nice time with a 0, then it will print only the hour and the minute. It will not print the seconds. Similar to some of the language, you can also specify the default values. Suppose if user doesn't pass the parameter, if the calling function doesn't send any kind of a parameter, then default values will be used. In this example, by default it is 1. If user just call this function as a get time, by default it will use it as a 1 and it will become true. It will send it as a hour, minute and seconds. Pass the parameters by value. By default, arguments to the functions are passed by value. So we are going to by default nature of the program is it will pass it by a value. This means that a copy of the variable of the parameter to be modified within the function, means whenever you are passing by value, a copy of that data is given. So if you make any changes inside the program, those changes will be only effective to that variable, okay, which is passed as an argument. For example, we have a function change parameters and we are passing the argument here. So this argument plus is equal to, means argument is equal to argument plus 300. We are adding 300. Then echo, we have a break. Arg is equal to concatenate, dot is concatenate, and whatever the new value after adding 300, that is given to the browser. Then dollar initial is 15. Then echo br initial value, you will see on the browser, you will see initial is equal to 15. Br is a break, so it will go to the next line. On the browser, the display will go to the next line. Then we are calling the function change parameter, and we are passing dollar initial. So what is the dollar initial value? 15. So inside this function, 15 will come, this 300 is added. What will be printed is 350. Then after calling the value of the initial, so output initial is 15. So this variable, this data was sent, this parameter was sent as a value, not as a reference. That's why its value remains the same. Inside the function, it got changed. Okay, there it got changed, but where we are calling this particular function, there the value will remains same. Passing by reference. So this is another, we will give the address of the variable. When you give the address of the variable, you are passing it by the reference. And similar to the other language, if we provide an ampersand, that says that instead of sending a copy, send the reference itself, means it will send the address. Now the same function, you can see here, we have an ampersand and dot arg, and the rest of the code is same. We are adding the 300 and we are displaying that onto the browser. Now initial is 15. Then I print the initial value. Output will be shown as initial is equal to 15. Then change parameter, I am calling this function and passing this variable dollar initial, because now you can see it is ampersand. The address of this variable is passed to the function. Now it is directly changing at the that particular address. So it is making the change, it is increasing it to 315, and we are printing here. Now inside the function, when it prints, it will print 315. Okay, after the function call, we are coming here and we are printing the initial value. Now initial value is 315. The reason being, we sent it as a reference. So whatever the changes that happened in the inside the function will be applicable outside also, because we sent the reference or the location of that particular variable. This is the same value by reference, and passing the parameter as a value versus as a reference. So this is the example. Here the difference here is, we are the program in the function definition, we are specifying it as an ampersand, so that will indicate that it is a pass by reference. Variable scope in functions. All variables defined within the function, such as parameter variables, have a function scope, meaning that they are only accessible within the function. So whatever the variable you create, it will be the scope will be inside the function only. Any variable created outside the function in the main script are unavailable within the function. Those will not be available inside. For example, you can see $count is equal to 56. That is the variable that is declared outside. Then function test scope, inside that I'm trying to echo that to the browser. $count, this might result in some kind of a error. Okay, because this particular variable is not available. Now if you are calling it outside, so now we call the test scope function, we will get an error, and after that we are calling echo $count, which is outside this function. There it is accessible. Okay, this particular value is accessible here. Global variables, we know, like, global variables can be accessed anywhere. Variables defined in the main script are said to have a global scope. Unlike other programming languages, a global variable is not by default available within the function. So by default it is not available, it is going to give error. But if you specify the global keyword, then it is accessible. For example, you can see here we have in the main function, in the main PHP tag, I have a dollar count variable inside. Then this will become visible inside the function. If you say echo dollar count, now it will not give any kind of a error. It will display 56 onto the browser. Similarly, this is the calling of the program which will display 56, outputs 56, and again the statement which is inside the main, which will have a access to this variable, and it will output the 56 value. Okay, let me show the code. I have a sample code. I have this particular code, sample.php. Okay, so this is the simple code I have. This is the HTML document. Inside the body, I have a header HTML. I have a paragraph, and inside the paragraph, I have the text as the server time is, and then I have a PHP code. So what the PHP code? This is the beginning of the PHP code. Okay, this is the beginning of the PHP code, and this is the ending of the PHP code, which is inside the paragraph. And what it is doing, I'm echoing the strong HTML element, then echoing a date in HIS, means hour, minute, and seconds. Then I have a closing strong HTML element. Then inside header, I have code I have defined here. I have one more piece of code, PHP code here, beginning of the PHP code and end of the PHP code, and I have $user is equal to Randy. Now, when this gets evaluated, echo user, so Randy value will be it will output it to the browser. So browser will have h1 welcome Randy and closing h1. Similarly, this step, the browser will have server time is, and this is executed as a new date. We will get a new date from the server, and it will be in bold. So means what the browser will get is a strong and sometime and closing strong element. That is what is shown in the browser. So before we execute this code, this is a very simple code. What we have to do is, first we have to start the XAMPP. We have to start the open the XAMPP control panel and start the web server. So you can see Apache web server. I will start the Apache web server. Then I will check whether that is running correctly or not. So I will say local host. Okay, now my application web server is running perfectly fine. Now the next step is, I told you, we have to copy the code. Okay, we have to copy the code. Let me change this one. Where we have to copy the code, we discussed about this. It should be in C, then XAMPP, yes, XAMPP and htdocs. This is htdocs. So already I have some code. Make sure wherever you have your code, so my code is in some other location, I will copy and I will paste it here. Already present, so I'll just overwrite. Now let me copy the name of the file. Then I will say localhost one dashboard 1_sample.php. You can see this is the code. Welcome Randy. Their server time is, this is a strong. Okay, and if you check the HTML, so you can see the HTML. Now the server time is there. This PHP code has replaced the Randy name, and this PHP code is given this strong, this time, and strong. So whenever you refresh, now it is 1922. If I refresh, okay, it is changing because whatever is the where it is getting the time from, it is getting from the server. Which is the server? My laptop is the server where the Apache is running. So it is getting the time from there, and it is displaying. So that is the first code, and next code is sample function. So this is one example where I have used the function. Now this is the PHP code. First set of PHP code is here, opening PHP code and closing PHP code, and I have two functions which is same as what we saw on the presentation. Function get nice time, and it will return a date object with HI and S, hour, minute, and seconds. And one more function I have, output footer menu. Then I have a H2 footer element. So this is the inside the double quotes. I have the HTML code. All these are HTML codes, which we already say we have. I'm creating a div. Inside the div I have one, two, okay, anchor elements as a home products, and the second line two anchor elements about us and contact us, and closing of the div. Whenever I call function, this is displayed. Then inside the HTML, same code. Okay, instead of creating a date here, I am calling a function. You can see here, this is the PHP code. Inside the PHP code, I have a time now. This is a variable I'm creating, and I'm calling the get nice time function. So it will call this function, which will give a new date object that is stored here. And once I have that new date object, echo strong, then echo this value, and echo closing strong bracket. So that is what will happen. So if I run this code, what we have to do is, first step is from your local folder. If you are not directly developing in htdocs, you have to copy your file there. Already I have that file. Then I will call that function, sample underscore fn. Okay, sorry, it is three underscore. That's why we are getting the error. So always it is better you copy the name. So it is not finding that resource. That's why it is giving not found. .php. So same code implemented using the functions. So whenever you refresh, so you are seeing here, you are seeing the change. Suppose if you want to make any changes, let us say you don't want this format. If you want different format, make the changes, it will show up. So one more thing I will add is, I did not call this function. I will call that function after this echo. I will just call that output footer function, so that output on the browser, I should see some kind of a footer. So it is in the my local folder. Put it on the server folder, that is htdocs. The changes are available now. Then you refresh that page. Okay, you can see the footer now. So this footer is showing up. So those are the two code pieces I had. So that completes the module 3.